Peace and blessings. This is the Cold World Podcast with DVJ&MICHELLE coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, y'all. We'll get to this opening, intro, music, clips, content, and all that. But I just wanted to take a second to say thank you. We're enjoying ourselves podcasting. I think we're spreading some information out there, you know what I mean? We're learning stuff as well, you know what I mean? And we're having a good time. Alright, y'all. And I just love the fact that Michelle and I have created an atmosphere and a space for ourselves to share our thoughts and ideas and our experiences. Alright, y'all. Let's get to this episode. Enjoy the music, clips, and contents. This episode's right around 30 minutes, give or take. Alright, y'all.
The Death Star will be completed on schedule.
You've done well, Lord Leader. And now I sense you wish to continue your search for young Skywalker.
People don't know that Devin the Dude was very inspirational when we were kids because he was in a group called Odd Squad. Odd Squad was a group from Houston, I think, or Texas. And they used to have this song called Up Yo for Show to trying to get some more.
That's the great Andre 3000 showing homage to Devin the Dude. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, Devin the Dude is underrated. He was a beast on that mic, and he's a great storyteller as well.
And so I was like so happy that he reached out for me to get on with a job because I was like, man, you don't understand how much being big, like you should listen to Odd Squad. Yeah, I think they were signed to rap a lot. A lot of people don't know that Devin the Dude was very inspirational when we were kids because he was in a group called Odd Squad.
Kimberly, if you're really hungry, I'm sure Dad and Maggie will fix you something.
Yeah, but whatever you eat is fine.
Stop it! They told you, didn't they? Well, they're wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not sick. And I want you all to leave me alone. Understand? But, Kimberly... Leave me alone!
Kimberly, what's the matter?
You don't understand. Nobody understands. I have to be thin. You didn't see those girls I got friendly with in Paris, models and stuff. They did it, so did I. Daddy, it's easy. I don't want to be...
Rest in peace, Dana Plato.
I want a perfect body. Daddy, I'll do anything I have to stay like this.
Victims of the almighty Sarlacc, His Excellency hopes that you will die honorably. But should any of you wish to beg for mercy, the great Jabba the Hutt will now...
Happy Star Wars Day, y'all. May the 4th be with you. My favorite movie is Return of the Jedi.
3PO, you tell that slimy piece of worm-ridden filth he'll get no such pleasure from us, right?
Jabba, this is your last chance. Free us or die.
Let's go out front, bro. Peace and blessings, y'all. It's Sunday. About to take Chewy outside. For anyone that's new that's listening, Chewy is our February, March, April, May. 15-month-old pug, yeah. March, April, May. I was getting the math right. Yeah, we have a Valentine's pug. He was born last year on Valentine's Day. So, yeah, he's about 15 months old. Yeah. Y'all hear the birds chirping? Yeah, so we got Chewy out here. Just got done feeding him. Stuff like that. I had to go load a couple trucks this morning for work. I left here at like 3 o'clock. And I went and did that. Stopped off for little cigarettes and gas and shit like that. Yeah. So Sunday's just going to be a day full of relaxation. Got game 1 starting today between Cleveland and Indiana Pacers. I think that's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think it's going to be 4-1. I see Cleveland winning at 4-1. And then you got Houston and Golden State playing today. Game 7. I got to ride with Houston. I got to ride with Houston at home in Houston. Because the crowd does matter. When, like these kind of games, having that home court advantage in Game 7, I think means a lot. You know what I was thinking about, too? The only sport, I'm talking about like of the major sports, or really in general, I don't know, there's, might be able to find some other examples. But, did you realize that, like, baseball is the only sport that I can just think of off the top of my head. Obviously, there's other ones, but as I can think of right now in this very moment, baseball is either the only sport or one of the only sports where you can't score, you know what I'm saying, when you're on defense. Or, you know what I mean, you can't steal the ball, get a turnover, change possessions, all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like in basketball, you get a turnover, steal, and it's your ball, you know what I mean? Back and forth. Football, interception, fumble, you know, that type of stuff, block, punt, all that kind of stuff. You turn the ball over and have it be yours right away. Baseball, you can't. You got to wait your turn for everything in baseball. I'm trying to think of any other sports just off the top of my head where you can't score on defense or you know, regain possession of the ball. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like baseball. It's just, it's not enough action. If you even, and I know they've sped the game up some, like, you know, all that kind of stuff, but it's still slow and boring to me. It is fun to play. I love playing baseball and softball and shit. That's just fun as hell. But it's not fun to watch. It's too slow. And you can't, like I said, it's too hard to catch up if you're down. Like, let's say in baseball, let's say the score is 6-0, and it's the 6th inning. The game's pretty much over already. I'm not saying that you can't come back and win, but it's just like too much stuff has to happen. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. And I know some people like that kind of competition where it's like all that. It's kind of like a chess match and shit, and I get all that, but like when it comes to sports, I need action. Like, I need pace and speed and people running up and down, and you know what I mean, and tackling and hitting, and like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I watch WNBA. I would watch WNBA, and it ain't no slight on the WNBA, but I would watch the WNBA before I would watch Major League Baseball. No doubt about it. All day long. Just because it's basketball. But, you know, actually women play basketball more, you know, they just play more basic and just like how the game's supposed to be played. They're not all super flashy. They pass the ball, they set screens, all that kind of stuff. They're going to play D. They're going to hit the open person. They're going to block out. They're going to set screen, all that kind of stuff. not quite as selfish as men when it comes to basketball and stuff. So, all right, y'all. We're in for our walk. We'll probably take him out for another one later. I usually just take him out. Like, we go out through the front of the building. I take him all the way around. Basically going, like, side of the building and then come around through the back. So it ends up being about a 10-minute walk. Stuff like that. But I prefer WNBA over Major League Baseball. I will watch golf before I will watch baseball. And golf is a slow sport, too. But, baseball is fun, but not to watch. But I love playing it. All right, y'all. But happy Sunday. Come on, Joey. Oh, yeah, too. Our apologies on yesterday's episode. Saturday episode 2, I believe. Like towards the end of the episode, towards like the last, I'm going to say maybe minute and a half to 2 minutes. I don't know what happened. Remember I was telling y'all last week that I recorded an episode. For some reason, it was like, it was doing all that shit. So I had to redo it and all that. So I don't know why that happened or what that's all about. It's not anything intentional. But so on last night's episode, you're going to notice, I'm going to say around the minute and a half mark, I'm saying before the episode's over, you're going to hear that. It's going to go, because I started to play a song and recorded it or whatever, and then when I listened back to it, I noticed that was on there. It's only about 20 or 30 seconds, though. So just fast forward through that when you get to that part. Yeah, y'all. I don't know if that's the Podbean app or I don't know, but that's not anything on my end. That's the third time that's happened now. We've been podcasting for a little over a year. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we started podcasting about a month before we got Chewy. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the third time that's happened. I don't know what that is. It was a little glitch or something in there with the Podbean app. But overall, I've been happy with Podbean. But, so just, you know what I'm saying, when you get to the end of the episode, you'll hear that. It's only about 30 or 40 seconds long, though. So just fast forward through it real quick. You know what I mean? That's one thing I like about podcasts and stuff. You can fast forward through stuff versus if you're listening to like a radio show or something, you just got to wait for them to be done talking or whatever. You know what I mean? Or get to the part that you enjoy listening to or whatever. But with podcasts and shit, you can fast forward, rewind, all that stuff. But our apologies for that. But I was like, man, I'm not going to go and reissue this again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that serious. Yeah. All right, y'all. But enjoy the Sunday. I'm in from work. As y'all know, I just took Chewy out for a walk. Because y'all came along with us for the walk and the talk. But, nothing too serious today. Just going to watch some sports and just relax. You know what I mean? But, I was saying, too, keep in mind, like, sometimes, like I said, I know, like, we're not the best with, like, titling in our episodes. And I know, like, that's a big deal. You know, title is kind of everything when people are looking for the podcast or whatever. So, titling is important. But at the same time, I don't want to stress myself out over that and being all like, ooh, because sometimes, like I said, we talk about a lot of stuff. Y'all know that. We might talk about 20 different things in an hour. And so it can be difficult sometimes when I'm at the end and I'm about to, you know, publish and edit and all that stuff. And then you're sitting there like, oh, okay, now what all did we talk about? We talked about this, we talked about that, we talked about this. And so sometimes instead of just trying to write all that in there or whatever, I just put, you know, Sunday, episode 1, Sunday episode. Unless it's something like super specific, like that I just for sure want people to know about, like just off the gate, out the gate, I'll title it. But I hope y'all would afford us that grace. You know what I mean? Because you guys know what we're talking about. We pretty much, we have a wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Talk about societal stuff, cultural stuff, political stuff, family, culture, prison, all the isms, the sexism, the classisms, all that. We talk about all that stuff. We talk about what we're going to eat tonight. You guys come with us to the grocery store and shit, and out on our little errands and stuff, which we all do, right? We all do that, all of us. So I think that's one reason it's relatable. And I think people can appreciate our authenticity. And I think people can tell we're not in this to make money. Like I said, if that comes along, cool. Like, bad, nice. Ooh, somebody hit us with some money or whatever. Oh, that was nice. That was cool. Like, appreciation, a way of saying thank you or whatever. But we don't get on here and ask people for that stuff. Because we have jobs. And like Michelle always tells me, like, this is therapy. And we've created ourselves an atmosphere and a platform to talk about our thoughts and feelings and how we feel about things and how we see the world. You know what I mean? And if you're interested, go on ChatGTP and ask them, what the Cold World podcast with DVJ and Michelle is about. You know what I'm saying? Because we Google that just to see like what people are saying and stuff like that. So we're starting to get some reviews here and there and stuff like that. And like I said, we're not, we don't have a lot of promotion and sponsors and stuff going on. Y'all can tell that. You don't hear any on here, do you? You hear us shouting out things and people that we like or whatever, music and all that stuff, but like we're not sponsored with anybody. You know what I mean? So that's why I was saying, like, one way you guys could help us out is just spread the word. Give us a review, whatever sites you listen to your podcast or whatever like that. Give us a review, because we definitely could use reviews. I'm talking about especially like black and brown podcasters or more liberal podcasters in general. If you're white, black, brown, whatever, we're all in this together. Like, we're all fighting this shit together. And so, it would be helpful to spread words. You know what I mean? Because I would love for people to hear our thoughts and opinions about stuff. You know what I mean? So just spread the word. You know what I mean? Give us a rating. Spread the word or whatever. Hashtag us or whatever. Tell people to check out the Cold World podcast. We're on Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, Podchaser, Amazon Music. We're on all that stuff. Spotify. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Let's get back to this episode, though.
Resourcefulness, Daniel's invited me for a home-cooked lunch with someone very special. His mom, Ana.
¿Qué tal? Soy Eva. Bienvenida, Eva. Encantada. Tu casa. Ay, gracias.
Pues yo suelo venir aquí a menudo, pero mi madre no cocina, pero le gusta mucho comer. Entonces yo solía ayudar a mi padre.
In the kitchen, celebrated chef and family friend Carles Gage is cooking up a dish that's a perfect blend of Catalan ingenuity and Italian inspiration.
Vamos a hacer canelones.
¿Eso no es italiano?
No, sí, pero nosotros hemos adaptado desde hace 2 siglos y vas a degustar el canelón catalán.
Daniel's father believed Catalan cuisine was central to Catalan identity.
Shout out Eva Longoria. Eva Longoria. Watching her show on CNN. It's pretty good. She's Mexican, yeah. She's a Latina. I guess she's exploring like Spain or whatever now. I guess she had one a couple years ago about Mexico, but I think she has family that's from Spain or whatever as well, so she's exploring some of that. But, interesting show. Michelle and I have been wanting to check it out. So I'm doing that right now. I'm sipping on my coffee. Chewy sitting here with me. Say good morning. Yeah. And just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's listening. I know I say that a lot, but we appreciate it. You know what I mean? We truly appreciate it. All right, y'all, let's get back to this episode. Enjoy the music, the clips, and the content. Yeah, but go check out that Eva Longoria. I think it's like Searching for Spain or Finding Spain or something.
No se ha desmontado ni uno.
Fun fact, she got her start on Young and the Restless, too. I don't know if that was her very first job, but I know that was one of her first jobs. Yeah, she was on Young and the Restless back in like the late 90s or early 2000s.
Lo hacía con sesos. Ponía sesos de corderito.
¿Ah, sí?
Ya más barato, claro.
¿Y esta en cuál época?
Los años 40, 50.
Había bastante precariedad entonces. Pero siempre me contaba mi padre que a veces se olía en el barrio de que estaban preparando un pollo. Y que la gente salía a los balcones a oler el aroma del pollo. Wow. O sea, ese era el nivel de hambruna que había.
Franco. Students like Daniel's father and mother, Ana.
Fueron a la cárcel los dos durante el franquismo.
¿Estabas en el cárcel? En la universidad nos cogieron, ya estábamos manifestándonos. Y nos cogieron, nos hicieron un juicio militar. Yo estuve 6 meses en la cárcel. 6 meses. Y Manolo 16 meses.
16.
Franco vivió hasta el 75.
Sí.
Y aguantarle muchos años todavía.
Y el día que se murió, ¿cómo te sentiste?
Pues fantásticamente bien.
Music interlude. This is Styles P and Davies. Y'all go check their Beloved album out.
Exotic clothes, exotic clothes, exotic smoke, exotic smoke, exotic women and exotic flow, exotic flow, exotic does, exotic nose. Ghetto nigga, exotic whip, exotic clothes, exotic smoke, exotic women and exotic flow, exotic does, exotic nose, exotic. All my niggas is mad live. Louis luggage is rugged, nigga from mad fly. Used to be a dope boy, right in the back of the cab ride. Right around the time when Duke beat the Fab Five. All through high school, nigga, I went to class high. Baptized with fire, wicked nigga with mad rhymes. Plus where I live in the hood, they sling mad dimes. Hit the park, shoot up the game, doing halftime. Demons with the kids, Nina's gon' kick if I hit your hood. You gon' need female, that bitch was one line with 10 hyenas in the mix. You ain't got to see the strip, it's a bigger movie than DreamWorks. Niggas saying wolf, but still making their dream work. More rap, I had crack, making my cream work. Burgundy's an alley by the alley, we from Cali, Linen Zoo, Pair Valleys, big crib by the valley, ghost. Ghetto nigga, exotic whip, exotic clothes, exotic smoke, exotic women and exotic flow, exotic does, exotic nose. Ghetto nigga, exotic whip, exotic clothes, exotic smoke, exotic women and exotic flow, exotic does, exotic nose.
My bitch exotic, we don't speak the same language. Got a bunch of new hammers, but I keep the same painless. Bloomingdale's and Barney's before I became famous. Know the streets well. Give me a canvas and I can paint it. Authentic nigga.
Looks like you might have crashed your car, huh?
Oh my gosh. Hi. Yeah, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Rachel? So were you driving this way?
Yeah, obviously. That's the way the vehicle's facing.
Did you just not see the car on the side of the road, or how did it
there was no car on the side of the road.
There wasn't?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You had anything to drink tonight, Rachel?
No, I haven't.
Just be honest. So here's the deal, Rachel.
So here's the deal. I won't answer any more of your questions.
You don't have to answer any more of my questions?
No.
Okay. Well, you don't have to answer anything.
If you'd like to know... Nope. Actually, Rachel, I'll let you know what's going on from now.
White privilege lady. You hear how she's talking to this cop. Imagine if that had been somebody black or brown. They'd have been thrown to the ground in cuffs in the back of the car already. Black and brown people don't get to talk crazy to the police like that. Only white people do. And I'm not saying black people should get to, I'm not saying that. I'm making the point that white people a lot of times do and say what they want. And they just flow through life and they don't expect to be interrupted or criticized or anything like that. That's why you'll be seeing them snapping out when they get pulled over by the police. They're like almost like, how dare you? You know what I mean? They get all bent out of shape. All right, y'all, let's get back to this episode. And enjoy the rest of your weekend and the upcoming week, y'all. Peace and blessings once again, y'all. This is the end of today's episode. We really appreciate everyone that's listening. You know what I mean? Gonna enjoy some NBA basketball today. We got a Game 7 going on today. And then we got a Game 1 starting up between Indiana and Cleveland. So Michelle and I are just going to chill. She's still in bed. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Going to have some more coffee. Shout out Collectivo Coffee. Just pour a cup. All right, y'all. So thanks for listening to today's episode. You know what I mean? Go out and do something good for somebody. And until the next one, peace.